I don't know if you've noticed, but Instagram lately has really been pushing Reels. It's really important. So I thought I'd show you the way that I make an Instagram reel and how you can make one easily as well, and the way that you use music and sound effects and all that stuff. And I also want to say a huge thank you to Artlist for sponsoring this video. Whenever I shoot a reel, I try to have this as my background of the product that I want to showcase, because it's a really good background. It brings in a lot of depth with the lights in the background and just looks alive, if you may. So if you are in your living room or in something similar where you have some lights that you can put a little bit further away from you, and you have a lens with a shallow depth of field or a low f-stop, then you can also get this nice blurred up background in your reels. I'm thinking that we are going to make a reel of one of my favorite lenses, which is the Batis 85mm. The way that I do this is basically just grab a wide angle lens to be able to shoot the B-roll. And when it comes to my main setup, I usually have my 20mm f1.8. This is going to be more than sufficient to be able to get that blurry background. The way that I usually shoot this is 100 FPS, but if you only have 50 or 60 FPS, that's going to be more than sufficient. I usually just have the lens at kind of a slight distance, and the way that I start my reels is always like pulling away from the lens almost. In this case, I kind of want to do the same thing, so just pull it out, that's what, and then move it around in slow-mo until we get a couple of cool shots. And when I'm shooting in slow-mo on my Sony a7S III, I always shoot in SNQ so that I can preview the footage in slow motion. So we start by having it right here and then move back. Just move it around. There we go. Now I feel satisfied with the hands kind of shots that I got. Now we want to grab a longer lens so that we can grab B-roll off the lens that we actually want to showcase. I'm probably going to go for the Tamron 2875 f2.8 G2. Very good lens. According to the camera, we need to go up to like ISO 12,800, so that's not going to be sufficient. So I'm going to grab a light and give it a little bit of extra oomph to the shot. Sorry for blinding you. Now we can go down to ISO 2000 instead, which is way better. And what I usually do now is that I use this tripod as my foreground for some of the shots. So I set my focus to manual, and then we can zoom in a little bit more. 75. And then move back out, and then back in, move across, and then... Since we're shooting in 100 FPS, you don't have to be super precise. Just trying to find some interesting angles for the different shots. What I want now is basically just grab a couple of shots from my hard drive when I've used this lens to show people the results that you can get with this lens. Editing time. Okay, as you probably know by now, I'm using Final Cut Pro. So if that is not your weapon of choice, then this video might be a little bit hard from this point on. But the first thing that I usually do is to create a new project in the library that we've created. So we're going to choose video, and we're going to choose vertical. And then I'm going to write 85mm. 85mm. And in my case, it's going to be 25 frames per second, but the resolution is going to be 2160 times 3840. I'm going to make sure that we hit that. And then I'm going to choose standard Rec 709, and we are going to hit OK. And now we have a vertical project that we won't lose resolution with. So now we're just going to drag in all the footage to our 85mm library. And since I'm shooting most of my things in S-Log3, I just apply my personal LUT for this, which is called the Vlog LUT. So as you can see right now, this is what it looks like. I go in, camera LUT, shoot my Vlog LUT, bam, and we're done. To begin the reel, we want to show us the product or the thing that we want to talk about, because people want to have that like instant hit when it comes to scrolling the reels. So I'm going to drag this first clip that we shot, pulling out the lens, and I am going to start right as I start pulling out. So right here, I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to move forward to this point. And then here, I want to press Shift B to create sort of a speed ramp and choose fast times 8. There we go. And then we can cut it maybe like 2-3 seconds in. It doesn't have to be longer since it's supposed to go quick when it comes to reels. And now we can jump in to a different angle so that we create an interesting pace. But the thing is, looking this through, it just feels flat. We don't have any like punch to it, and that is where Artlist comes in, because it gives us the music that we need for the video to work. The good thing with using music from Artlist for your reels is that you don't have to worry about copyright in different countries or copyright strikes or anything similar, because when I've been doing some reels and using Spotify music, some people in different parts of the world can't see it because it's copyrighted in their country. But when it comes to Artlist, you don't have to worry about that. And since they have one of the absolute biggest selections of copyright-free music with one license that covers everything, there's so many songs that you can choose from. And not only that, they also have an immense library of sound effects that we're going to use in this video as well. So we're going to head into Artlist, and I am going to choose from the genre, and I'm going to choose electronic. And personal favorite is to always sort by the newest. So head up here and then sort by newest. This gives you the most fresh and recent hits that is uploaded to Artlist, and maybe give you a little bit of an edge because you can use music that no one else has used before, which can make your reels a little bit unique. We're going to have a listen. This one is good. Yeah, we're going to go that. Light Trails by Lucky Sound. I always download MP3. I don't know why, because I think it takes up less space and it works just as good as WAV. I'm going to jump back into Final Cut Pro, and we're going to drag this in, and we're going to cut to the good part of this song. I think it's like, there we go. We're going to start on the beat. So I'm going to hit M at the playhead, and then I'm going to hit Q and backspace to delete it and place it in the beginning. And as you can see, like right now, the first clip is a little bit too long. That is where it should be cut. Maybe like this. Yeah, I think that this feels better. And now we are going to just cut between a couple of different angles. These ones I really like, with the panning behind the tripod or next to the tripod. What I'm trying to do is basically just time the clips to the beat of the music to make sure that we have a good pace, we have interesting flow in the video, and then we have a final payoff with the result after we've shown off the products in the way that we want. The way that I start my reel is usually with what I've got here. What I got here is a portable laser-powered 4K projector capable of producing a 150-inch screen. That makes it for such a simple way to show off a product. For example, in this case, it's going to be, what I got here is one of my all-time favorite lenses, the Zeiss Batis 85mm f1.8. Here's why. That's gonna be like the entire premise for it. I also want to make sure that I have a little bit of sound effects that is like gives us this, you know, nice feeling and depth to the shot. Even though we don't have that much going on in the video, it can help us to create the depth that we want. We're gonna go to their main menu, and then we're gonna choose SFX, and we're gonna type in whoosh. Let's see what happens if we type in sub whoosh. Like, could it be any more similar than what I just did? That was such a good one. I gotta download that for future use. Maybe I can use a little bit of like camera lens focus or camera focusing. Let's see if we can find something. Camera lens. Let's remove the lens in camera and then focusing. This is perfect. Just having this in the background of the video is gonna give it way more depth. We jump back into Final Cut Pro, drag in the sound effects that we just downloaded. I'm gonna mute the music for now, and we're gonna place the sound just as we get into like the detailed stuff of the lens, and then we're gonna lower the volume, and then we're just gonna cut the sound effect so that it matches our video. Because the thing is with sound effects, you can mix and match the way that you want it to be so that it matches the best that you can do. Now we have the sound of the focusing, and then I want to have the that's wild, sounds so good. We're gonna speed this up a little bit. I'm usually gonna drag it to like 140, 160 maybe. And then I wanna have it in the beginning of the video, right? So we're gonna trim it down like, that is so good. Okay, let's see how it sounds with a little bit of reverb. So I'm gonna mark all of these that I have with the focus motor, and I'm gonna hit Alt-G, hit Enter, and then we're gonna go into the effects. I'm gonna choose reverb. Then we're gonna go into the settings up here, parameters, and choose wet, and hear that? So good. And now I'm just gonna add a little bit of content that I've shot with the actual lens to show people that are watching the reel how it looks when you're using the lens. And then we're gonna export this. So we're gonna go up to File, and then we're gonna hit Share. We're gonna hit Export File. This is what I do for all my reels, no matter what kind of reel it is. And then I go to Settings, and then I make sure I have Format, Computer, Video Codec, Better Quality, resolution 1216 by 2160. I hit next and then save. That gives me the best quality for Instagram that I've seen. But I'm gonna give you a pro tip too. If you're uploading a lot to Instagram, then you may or may not know that you have to go into your settings of Instagram by going into your account on Instagram and then scroll down to data usage. And then you gotta make sure that you have the high quality uploads checked. Because if you don't, Instagram is gonna compress your videos even more. But if you have this marked, then your quality on your videos will be higher when you upload it to Instagram. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to sign up for Artlist. They have everything that you might need to be able to create interesting videos, interesting reels, interesting content for online stuff. I'm gonna drop a link down below. You're gonna get 2 months for free if you sign up. In the description. Peter from Sweden is saying goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.